All right, just a few minutes away from kickoff here in Lakeway, Missouri. New Heights Christian Academy taking on the Lakeway Hornets. We'll have pregame announcements here, and then we'll be ready for kickoff.
And now the starting lineup for your Lakeway Hornets. Number 0, Jesse Tanner. Number 1, Braylon Walters. Number 2, Killian Adams. Number 7, Aiden Hendricks. Number 8, Landon Dennis. Number 9, Whole story. Number 10, Ryder Martin. Number 11, Taylor Bryant. Number 13, Jericho Fowers. Number 16, Gavin Shaw. And number 17, Trey Benavides.
All right, we're live, just about ready for kickoff. We have 40 minutes on the clock. Varsity action will start tonight. We'll play a full varsity game followed by a JV half. Cougars will start with the ball going north to south. Cougars in their white kits, Laquey in their red and black. Three-man crew tonight for the officials. Ruben Brake on the left wing, Hudson Clevenger up top, Liam Nelson on the right wing for the Cougars. And we're underway. Perigin sends the ball into the right corner for Nelson to chase. And too heavy out of bounds, so it'll be a throw for the Hornets. Number 11, Taylor Bryant takes the throw in. Laquey loses it out on the near sideline, throwing for the Cougars. Number 1, Braylon Walters over here on the near side for the Hornets. Throwing up ahead, Nelson heads it forward. Ball in the middle of the field, Perigin wins it. Perigin carrying down the line, makes a clever chip into the box to Nelson. Nelson back to Perigin. He makes a move, sends it across the box, headed away by the Hornets. Settled at the top of the box by Schumacher, but can't control it, and cleared away. Nada comes back to win the ball on the back line, drop to Thomas. Being pressured by number 2, Adams. Sent down the line on the near side, Nelson wins it. Nelson has time, looking at an option, plays it wide to the near side to Thomas, but off the mark, and throw in for the Hornets. Braylon Walters there to take the throw. Back to the back line, number 16, Gavin Shaw. Into the middle for the Hornets, played through. Gavin Dole there to win it. Dole has time, being pressured from the side by Adams. Sent back to the middle of the field. One down by Shaw. Number 13. I don't have 13 on the roster, actually. Is that Fowers? Jericho Fowers? Okay. Ball in the middle of the field, won by Martin. Brake comes in and steals for the Cougars, up to Clevenger. Clevenger controlling the ball. Cuts it back into the middle. Nice Maradona turn by Clevenger, plays it through for Nelson on the run. Nelson cuts it back, but not on target, and stolen back by the Hornets. Back into the middle of the field. Shaw plays it through. Thomas there on the near side. Drops away and wins it off of Walter's foot. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Thomas to Perigin. Perigin heads it into the air. Challenge with Walters. Number 10, Martin, plays it back into the middle of the field. Martin on the ball, on the run. Brandon Schumacher steps up, able to win the touch. Back to Martin, played to the far side. It's number 17, Benavides. Carrying, sends it across the box. Dangerous ball. And the Hornets just can't get a foot on it to put it at the goal. Goal kick, Cougars. Dole sends the goal kick up to the middle, stolen quickly by Martin. Played to the back line over to number 13, Fowers. Switch to the field. Clevenger's there to steal. Clevenger thinks about switching, pushing through the middle, and cleared away by the Hornets. Schumacher comes up to challenge on Martin. Martin's able to turn into space. Nixon Meninga steps up and gets a touch ahead. Ben Schumacher there to steal. Schumacher carrying across, looking for an option to drop. Finds Dole. Dole to the near side, finds Nelson. Being challenged by Taylor Bryant. Drop back to Thomas on the back line. Thomas back into the middle. Headed away. Negranito's in there to send it forward. Hendricks challenges for the ball on Perigin. Perigin again wide to Nelson. Cleared away by Bryant with the header. Over to Walters. Walters back into the middle of the field. Ben Schumacher there to get a touch. Tries to control it down. Schumacher fighting for possession. Carrying to the near side. Plays it through to Nelson. Nelson connects. Nelson carried across the frame. Drops to Perigin. Perigin being defended by number 17, Benavides. Perigin again chips it over to Clevenger, still in play. Clevenger clips it back, but stolen away by Shaw. And Shaw puts it out of play on the sideline. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Perigin throws it in. First touch by the Hornets. Perigin sends it over with his left. Breaks it out on the backside. And the Cougars score the goal. Cougars score first. Ruben Brake there on the backside was able to find a touch on the ball and put it in the corner of the net. Take a look at that on replay. Sneaky goal by the Cougars.
That's a goal by the New Heights Cougars.
Be a kickoff now, 1-0 the score. Hornets drop it back to Martin. Martin plays it over to the far side. That's Benavides. He carries back, lost in the middle of the field to Perigin. Benavides back to the ball, played through, deflected by Perigin on the near side, on the far side, I should say. Back in the middle of the field. Controlled by Fowers. Stolen by Ben Schumacher. Nato steps in to win it. Over to Perigin. Perigin's able to turn. Finds Brake on the run. Brake cuts it back into the middle of the field. Takes the shot. And the keeper, Tanner, lets it roll out the end line. It'll be a goal kick for the Hornets. Just 6 minutes into the action. New Heights Cougars leading 1-0. Ball played out of the back to Hendricks. Hendricks is able to turn. Schumacher comes up to defend. Over to the far side, being challenged by Brake. Hendricks back to the ball, drops it back to the back line. Good movement by the Hornets into an attack in the midfield. Perigin's able to defend. Perigin comes on the challenge and knocks it out of play. It'll be a throw for the Hornets on the far side. Number 13, Fowers there to take the throw. Fowers plays it through the middle. Meningas is there to clear. Over the top. Shaw gets a touch. Sent through. Dangerous ball. Dole chases back and clears it out the near side. And a throw in for the Hornets. Number 11, Taylor Bryant there to take the throw for the Hornets. In the middle of the field. Martin gets a touch with his chest into the attack, but can't control it. Stolen back by the Cougars. Michael Perigin on the run. Perigin plays it over the top for Clevenger. Clevenger flicks it for Nelson if he's on, but he's not. And the flag goes up offside on the Cougars. Bryant there to take the free kick for the Hornets into the middle of the field. Bounces over the first line. Meninga steps up to get a touch to Ben Schumacher on the run. Being defended by Ryder Martin. Stolen back by the Hornets. Hendricks plays it through, but stolen by Perigin. Headed into the air by Bryant into the middle of the field. Fowers and Perigin challenge. Perigin gets through to the top of the box. Perigin's still on the ball. Cuts it back, looking for an option. Wide to Break. Break settles down, takes the shot with his right. Actually didn't get quite a shot on that. Deflected back into the middle and cleared away by the Hornets. Dole comes up to challenge number 2, Adams. Thomas is able to win it down the line. Laquey keeps it in play. That's Walters on the ball. Back into the middle of the field for Martin. Martin challenged by Schumacher. Drop back to number 13, Fowers. Fowers carrying on the far side as Break comes up to challenge. Fowers still on the ball. Cuts it back. Attacked by the Hornets. Stolen by the Cougars. Nato up to Nelson. Nelson on the diagonal to Clevenger on the run. And knocked out of play by number 16, Gavin Shaw. It will be a throw in for the Cougars in the attacking third. Nelson there for the throw. Into the box for Perigin. Perigin drops back to Ben Schumacher. Takes the strike. Puts it on frame. And the keeper, Jesse Tanner, there to make the save. Good strike by Ben Schumacher, but just put it right at Tanner. Tanner able to keep it from going through. Ball in the middle field, stolen by Perigin. Perigin cuts it back. Stolen back by Martin. Martin patient on the ball as Nito comes to challenge. Martin over to number 11, Bryant. Into the middle of the field for Fowers. Stolen back by Perigin. Perigin tries a little trickery cutting through, deflected back by Laquey. Bill gets it back to Perigin. Perigin in the center circle. Plays it over the top for Nelson. Nelson patient, cuts it back. Left-footed striker. Gets it to Clevenger at the top. Clevenger makes a move into the box. Slide tackle. Perigin comes on the follow, deflected away. Falls back to Schumacher. He gets it to Break. Plays the 1-2 back to Schumacher into the box. Schumacher still on the ball. Drops it back to Perigin. Perigin switching it over to Nelson. And handball in the box, actually just outside the, just outside the box is the call. And it'll be a free kick for the Cougars. Perigin likes to take this one quick if he can. Let's see if he can get this off his foot. He's going to ask for space. 4-man wall for the Hornets. Clevenger and Perigin over the ball. Nelson in the middle. Break on the far side. Schumacher up top. 29 minutes left to play here in the first half. Cougars leading 1-0 with a free kick just at the 18. Perigin takes the low ball, and Tanner gets a hand on it. Still in play. Nelson comes over, and it's a corner kick for the Cougars. Perigin was able to put that under the jumping wall of the Hornets. Jesse Tanner, nice job reading that ball and keeping it from going in the goal. Ben Schumacher over here on the near side to take the corner kick for the Cougars. Side spinning ball in. Hudson Clevenger got a good contact on it, but couldn't get it on frame. And it will result in a goal kick for the Hornets. Tanner plays it out of the back. It's number 9, Story, plays it wide to Benavides, stolen by Brandon Schumacher. Back to Meningas. Meningas makes a touch into the middle to Ben Schumacher looking to turn. Being challenged by number 7, Hendricks. Hendricks is able to win it, plays it on the run to Benavides. Stolen back by Perigin. Perigin on the ground and won by Fowers. Back to Perigin. Perigin finds Break on the sideline. Break cuts it back in the middle, stolen again by Hendricks. Hendricks plays it through all the way back to the back line for the Cougars. Nixon Meningas is there, plays it back into the middle. Number 6, Jarrett there, challenged with Nito. Cougars steal and try to play it through, deflected by the Hornets. Nato plays it again over to Liam Nelson on the near side. Nelson cuts it back, takes the shot with his left, but sends it over the goal. And another goal kick for the Hornets. Jesse Tanner back to take the goal kick for the Hornets. Plays it through the middle of the field. Touched first by Martin. Martin carries it to the near side, still on the ball. Martin looking for a through ball. Gavin Dole there for the Cougars. Gets a touch, goes out of bounds on the near side. There'll be a throw for the Hornets. Braylon Walters looking to play quickly. Drops it back to Martin, quickly back into the middle. Stolen by the Cougars. Brandon Schumacher gets a touch to Perigin. Perigin has room in front. He's carrying. Perigin gets another touch, plays it over the top, but just off the mark. Trying to find Clevenger on the far side, but put it right at the keeper, Tanner. He was there at the top of the box to win it. Tanner, big punt to the far side. Brandon Schumacher can't get a touch on it as number 2, Adams, comes over to challenge. Looks like there's a foul call. I haven't seen a direction. Looks like they're calling that on the Hornets. It'll be a free kick for the Cougars. Gavin Dole takes the free kick to the near side. Break and Marlin challenge for the ball. Throw in to Clevenger. To Nelson, chipped over the top. Clevenger tries to get a touch to settle. The Hornets are able to clear. Schumacher's there to win it. Ben Schumacher tries to play it through, cleared away again by the Hornets. Bennett Thomas wins it on the back line. Dole sends it back in. Touched in the middle. Nelson steals. Nelson drops to Perigin. Perigin takes the shot, and that ball's still rising. And out of play, goal kick for the Hornets. (1-0) the score. 25 minutes left here in the first half. Challenge for the ball on Bryant. Nelson's able to get to it. Nelson had it in for a little bit there, but loses it out. And ref's signaling that to be the Cougars. He meant the Hornets, though. Bryant there to take the throw. Played down the line as Walters finds the through ball. Stewart comes up at the top of the box and is able to win it. Stewart punts it away to the middle of the field. A little bit of wind here affecting the direction. Perigin wins it, makes the turn, plays the three-toe through. Hornets are able to win it. Back into the middle, Ben Schumacher settles down with his chest, being challenged by Benavides. Back to Brandon Schumacher. Schumacher shields, gets the turn. Schumacher plays it through, headed back by the Hornets. Break gets a touch in the middle. Ball scoots out and played into the middle for Ryder Martin for the Hornets. Martin on the run, plays it wide. Benavides sends it into the box, and Stewart's there to scoop it up. Ball played to Nelson. Nelson's able to keep it in on the line. Gives it to Thomas. Thomas on the ground to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher misses the touch. Number 6, Jarrett comes in to steal, but the Cougars are able to maintain possession. Perigin sends it over the top for Clevenger. Clevenger being defended. Clevenger pokes it through for Perigin, cleared away by the Hornets. Over to Walters. Walters drops back to his back line, Shaw. Benavides there. Gets a touch into space in the middle of the field. He leaves it for Martin. Martin carrying with some space. Dole steps up and punches it away. Number 6, Jarrett on the ball, plays it to the far side for Benavides. Brandon Schumacher there to pressure the ball. Benavides drops it back to number 19, Marlin. Marlin across. Dole comes in with his left and punches it away. Falls to Peregrine, who sends it back into the middle of the field. Nelson's there to connect with his chest. Clevenger makes the run. Clevenger was off anyway, stopped by Shaw. Shaw plays it back to the middle. First touch by Ben Schumacher. Falls to Peregrine on the run. Peregrine making a move on number 19, Zane Marlin. Marlin does a good job defending. Peregrine pulls it back. Gets it to Clevenger in the middle, headed away by the Hornets. Nato steps in for the Cougars, gets it to Nelson. On the run to Peregrine. Peregrine gets a touch, tries to poke through. And defended again well by the Hornets and cleared away to the near side. Ball into the middle. Nato gets a touch, can't control, but Schumacher's there. Ben Schumacher carrying across the field, cuts it back into the middle. Schumacher on the attack, looking for a spot, gives it to Clevenger. Clevenger takes the strike and deflected by the Hornets. That will be a corner kick for the Cougars. 23:30 on the official clock. I got off there somehow. Are you keeping the official clock, though? Okay, I'll change it to yours then. Ben Schumacher sends the ball into the backside. Clevenger tries to bicycle. Loose in the box. Brandon Schumacher's there to win it. Gets it to Edgar Nato. Nato in the middle of the field. Back to Thomas. Thomas gets some space. Not heavy enough on the touch. Dole comes in, has to clear. Martin comes on the challenge. Peregrine's able to clear it away. Into an attack, into the box. Shaw and Bryant there to defend. And the Hornets are able to clear it to the near side. Nato comes in on the challenge. Nato plays it down the line on the tackle. And off of the Hornets, number 11, Bryant, will be a throw-in for the Cougars. Break takes the throw-in into the box. Cleared away by the Hornets. Nato sends it back in. Clevenger gets a head on it. Back to Break. Break plays it across. Poked away. Falls to Martin. Schumacher came on to challenge. Martin finds a spot through. Brandon Schumacher there to challenge. Martin gets through him. Martin on the run plays the through ball. And Adams had a good run, but he was offside. It will be a free kick for the Cougars. Let's see if we can see that on replay. Yep, just stepped off there. All right, back to the live action. Dole there to take the free kick. Back spinning ball to the near side. Number 11, Bryant, rises up to win the header. Ball squirts away, though. Falls to Clevenger in the middle. Clevenger looking over the top for Nelson. Nelson on the far side gets a touchdown to settle. Drop back to Clevenger. Clevenger carrying. Chips it back into Peregrine at the box. Being defended by Shaw. Peregrine patient on the ball. Plays it to the near side for Break. Break sends it across the backside. Ben Schumacher's there, headed away by the Hornets. That was number 7, Hendricks. And the ball sent in, cleared away by Tanner on the one touch. Brandon Schumacher comes up, gets a touch in the middle for Nato. Nato has some pressure, plays it wide to Break. Break looking to turn, plays it through on the defense and stolen away by the Hornets. Adams comes back for the ball, plays it back to Hendricks. Peregrine comes in to steal. Peregrine's able to shield and steal the ball in the middle. Back to the far side for Nelson. Nelson puts it down with his chest. It's in the box, gets it to Clevenger. Clevenger back to the top to Peregrine. Peregrine takes the strike and scores the goal. And the Cougars take the 2-0 lead. 20:15 on the official clock. Cougars doing a much better job today of being patient in the box, taking advantage of those opportunities. Good ball by Peregrine, finding the far post on the ground. And just out of the outstretched arms of Jesse Tanner, the Laquey keeper. Restart a play. Number 13, Fowers, plays it in the middle. Thomas is there to steal. Over to Break. Break sends it across the field. Nelson's there to win it. Drops it back to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher touched back to his brother Brandon. Brandon has time. Plays it across to Nato in the middle of the circle. Finds Ben Schumacher on the one touch. He tries to scoop it through to Clevenger. Clevenger switches the field to Nelson. Doesn't get enough spin on it, though, and goes out of bounds. Throw in for the Hornets on the far side. Ball back into play. Nelson chips it back to Ben Schumacher. Back to his brother Brandon. Brandon gets challenged for the ball. Is able to turn. Plays it down the line for Nelson. Nelson one touch in. Scooped away by the Hornets. That's number 20, Evan Shear, on the ball. Plays it down the line. Brandon Schumacher there to steal. Plays it back with his left to Perigin. Perigin challenges over the top. That was Bryant headed it back to Clevenger. Perigin comes in. Shaw clears it away. Thomas steps up. Bennett Thomas on the back line. Gets it to Nato. Nato challenged from behind. And Adams tried to mount him. Gets called for the mount. And it'll be a free kick for the Cougars. Perigin takes the ball in to the top of the box. Clevenger gets a touch. Cleared away by number 11, Bryant. Falls to Perigin, who takes the strike, and off the mark, it will be another goal kick for the Hornets. Jesse Tanner there to take the goal kick. Ball played into the middle of the field. Touched first by Martin. Hornets can't control it. Out of bounds on the near side for Thomas. Thomas throws it down the line for Perigin. Perigin heads it forward into the box. Cleared away by Shaw. Thomas comes up and heads it to the sideline, and it'll be a throw-in for the Hornets. Number 14, Franklin Bacon there. Actually, he'll leave it for 13, Fowers. Jericho Fowers takes the throw. Ball into the middle of the field. Dennis gets a touch, stolen by Perigin. Perigin plays it through to Clevenger. Clevenger gets a touch and loses control, but Ben Schumacher's there to recover. Played it over the top. Too direct, though, and Tanner's there in the box to scoop it up. Tanner throws it out to the far side for Benavides. Played back into the middle. Brandon Schumacher plays it to his brother Ben. Ben tries to turn. Plays to Perigin. Perigin one touch into the box to Nelson. Nelson there with Shaw, and Nelson puts it in the goal but was ruled offside. And I wasn't tracking that well enough to see. Let's see if we can see that on replay. Yeah, it looks like he was off, and it will be a free kick for the Hornets. Gavin Shaw there to take the kick, plays it on the ground. Gets a connected pass to Shear in the middle of the field. Finds Martin. Martin turns. Martin gets through the challenge, plays to the far side. Sent across the box, good ball. Thomas tries to clear. Dole's there. Dole pokes it away to the far side. Number 19, Marlin, comes in to play it down the line, but can't get a clean touch on it. And it's out of bounds, throw-in for the Cougars. Just under 16 minutes left to play here in the first half. Cougars leading 2-0. Challenge in the middle of the field. Number 20, Shear's able to win it. Over to Benavides. He plays it into the middle. Bouncing ball. Breaks, able to steal, gets it back to Thomas. Thomas trying to find his feet, plays it up ahead. Fowers sends it back in to Martin. Martin drops back to number 9, Story. Over to Benavides on the far side, played back into the middle. Good touch by Martin. He's looking for space. Back to Story. Story to Shear. All the way back to the back line for Shaw. Shaw switches the field to the near side for Bryant. Break comes on the challenge. One more pass over to Fowers. Fowers back into the middle for Story, who kicks it out. Shear there being challenged by Schumacher. Nelson gets a touch to Peregrine. Number 9, Story comes in to win it. Peregrine deflects over to Break. Break sends it through, deflected by Bryant. Back to Peregrine at the top. Peregrine gets a move. Sends it across. Ben Schumacher there. And off the mark. It's a goal kick for the Hornets. I thought that was deflected, but it looks like it just rode up Schumacher's leg and was cleared away. Ref. Okay, so the ref noticed the clock discrepancy. 12:16 is his official time. We're going to change it to that. $12:16. We'll work back to get those to the correct time. Ball in the middle of the field. Brandon Schumacher plays it back in, stolen by the Hornets. Brandon across to Ben. Ben plays it to Nato. Nato with some time, looking at his options. Nato looks through for Clevenger. Clevenger gets a touch to turn. Shaw there defending at the top of the box. Shaw clears away, but Nelson's there to steal. Nelson with his left can't get it on frame. And another goal kick for the Hornets. Tanner takes the restart. Break steals. Peregrine heads it forward. Shaw's there to win it down with his chest. Send it in the middle of the field for Martin. Martin plays the through ball to the far side for Dennis. Nixon Meningus there to shield. Dennis challenged on the ball, gets a touch into the corner. And it's out of bounds on the Hornets. Will be a throw for the Cougars. Back into play for Schumacher. Ben Schumacher drops it back to Dole. Dole one touch into the middle. Clevenger tracks back to win it, gets a touch. Nato steps up to play the ball, plays it over the top for Peregrine. Shaw there gets a touchdown into space. Shaw up to the center circle. Clevenger comes on the challenge, wins it back. Clevenger carrying across the frame. Played to Nato on the far side. Nato down the line for Nelson. Challenge on the far side by Marlin. And out of bounds, throwing for the Cougars. Nelson to Peregrine. Peregrine making the run into the box. Shaw there to defend. Scooped away by Marlin. Peregrine comes back to challenge. And will stay Cougars ball in the attacking third. Peregrine there to take the throw. Quickly into Nelson. Nelson back to Peregrine. Peregrine three-toe across for Clevenger. Swept away by the Hornets. Good touch to settle by Nato to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher to Nelson, back to Nato. Nato again plays wide. Ben Schumacher there plays Nelson through. Nelson into the box, gets a touch. One more touch. Nelson takes the shot and can't get it on frame. Goal kick, Hornets. Jesse Tanner there to take the goal kick. In the middle of the field. First touch by the Hornets falls through to Peregrine. Peregrine pokes through to Clevenger. Clevenger through to Nelson. Nelson in the box, can't control the first touch. Gets back to it, drops it to Peregrine. Peregrine sets up the shot into the far post, but over the mark. And another goal kick for the Hornets. Tanner there takes the goal kick to the far side. Ben Schumacher comes over to challenge number 7. Hendricks plays it through. Sent into the air by Dennis. Perigin comes back to win it. Down the line, out of play, throwing for the Hornets. Lost out of bounds. Perigin takes the quick throw up to Nelson. Perigin gets called for lifting his foot on the throw, and it will be a throw-in for the Hornets. Two 0 the score, just under 8 minutes to play here in the first half. Clevenger leaves it for Perigin. Perigin on the run. Chips it through for Clevenger into the box. Shaw defending. Clevenger tracks it back. Over to Perigin. Perigin settles, plays with his left, deflected by Tanner. Break comes on the foul, sends it back. Clevenger there, trying to settle in the box, finds Perigin if he's on. And Perigin gets knocked down. There's a whistle, but I don't see a call. He gives him a yellow card. And I guess that's a penalty kick. I haven't seen a motion for that yet. Looks like it is a penalty kick as Perigin's carrying it to the mark. So 2-0 the score right now for the Cougars. Michael Perigin at the penalty spot to try to make it 3. Jesse Tanner, the keeper for the Laquey Hornets, a senior. Perigin sets it for the kick and scores the goal. And the Cougars take the 3-0 lead. We got 7 minutes on the clock. All right, we're back into the action. Clevenger there to carry. Carries to the far side. Clevenger still on the ball. Carrying down the far side. Clevenger with his left. Tries to send it through for Nelson. Number 18, Mayhay, there to clear it. Brandon Schumacher plays it down the line for Perigin. Perigin carrying across, gets a touch at the top of the box, takes the shot. And that's another goal for the Cougars. Perigin, nice athletic play, makes a touch to beat a defender, and then finds that slot through to the far post out of the reach of Tanner. Four 0 the score, 6:20 to play here in the first half. Restart of play. Hornets play it out of the back. Perigin comes in and steals. Perigin makes his own touch, gets back to the ball. And the ball rolls into the box. Tanner's there to scoop it up. Tanner back in the middle of the field. Touch first by Ben Schumacher. Schumacher through to Nelson. Nelson touches and turns. Being defended by Hendricks. Nelson tracks back, plays it to the back line for Dole. Dole steps up to receive, looking at his options. Dole plays it to Thomas on the near side, being challenged by number 8, Dennis. Dennis steals. Dole comes in and makes the tackle. And Dole gets called for the foul. Dole slid ahead of the ball, but but missed it, and then kind of got up in the way of Dennis to prevent the run. Gets called for the foul. Number 13, Fowers, sends it in. Bouncing ball. Stewart's able to get it off the bounce. Stewart side spinning ball. First line can't control it, and it goes out of bounds off the kick of Bryant. Throw for the Cougars. Clevenger plays it into Perigin. Clevenger deflects, breaks there for it. Break to Clevenger. Clevenger tries to turn. Shaw tries to clear. Gets a touch away. Break sends it back to Clevenger. Clevenger tries to poke it across, deflected by Mahay. Back to Nato on the middle. Nato plays it in. Tanner's there in the box to scoop it up. Tanner side spinning ball to the far side. Brandon Schumacher tracking back for it. Dennis challenging. Meningus gets a touch on it. Meningus clears it down the sideline with his left. Ben Schumacher connects. Plays it with his left to Nelson. Nelson's able to get back to it. Nelson over the top for Clevenger on the run. Tanner's there at the top of the box and is able to secure it. Tanner with a quick throw out to the near side for Bacon. Goes over Bacon. Thomas is there but can't control. And throw in for the Hornets on the near side. Under 4 to play here in the first half. Bennett Thomas takes the throw. Into the middle, won first by number 13, Fowers. Nato steals, plays it to the near side, deflected off the Hornets. Will be a throw again for the Cougars. Break throws it down the line, deflected by Fowers. Perigin runs onto it. Perigin across the box. Shaw's there, knees it in the air. Clevenger pokes it back to Schumacher. Schumacher chases for the ball with Martin. Martin comes in to steal. Martin's able to hold up play and get it over to Benavides on the far side. Ben Schumacher comes in and steals. Clip back in by Shear. Nato challenges. Martin makes the first touch through, makes another player miss. Meningus comes in on the tackle, and he's going to get carded for that. Oh, he didn't give him a card. I thought he was coming to issue a card. It was definitely a promising attack. Ball sent in by Martin. Sent into the box. Meningus is able to clear. Clevenger wins it with his chest, plays it through for Nelson. Good header by the Hornets to clear it away. Break gets back to the ball. Break pulls it through for Nelson. Nelson's onside, plays it back to Clevenger. Clevenger holds up play, plays it over to Thomas on the near side. Thomas being challenged by Dennis. Number 14, Bacon comes in and pokes it out of bounds, throwing for the Cougars. Shaw sends it back into the middle. Clevenger's there, wins it down with his chest. Clevenger makes the first man miss. Sends it in for Perigin. Perigin with the header, and that's a goal for the Cougars. And the Cougars lead 5-0. Perigin's fourth goal of the half. Good ball over the top for Perigin. Clevenger to Perigin. And .130 on the official clock. All right, we're back to the action. A minute 30 left to play in the first. Cougars now with a 5-0 lead. Ball sent into the corner. Hendricks is there for the Hornets, and Meningus comes in to clear it away. Sent back into the middle. Martin's there. Ball sent in to the box, but not enough on it, and scooped up by Stewart. Stewart punts the ball away to the middle. Touched first by Clevenger. Clevenger tracks back for it. Finds Ben Schumacher, gets a touch to space. Schumacher carrying. Plays it through for break. Laquey's able to clear. Powers to Bryant for the clear. Dole punches it back in. Headed in the air by Mayhay. Ben Schumacher there plays it over to Nelson. Nelson settles, leaves it for Schumacher on the run. Stolen away by the Hornets. Martin plays it up ahead. Nelson comes back to win it, but loses it out of play on the sideline. Throw in for the Hornets, and that should do it for the first half. So after 40 minutes to play, Cougars leading 5-0. We'll put 10 minutes on the halftime clock and be back after a little break here. Hornets back on the field. They'll take the kickoff. Going north to south here for the second half. There's a little bit of wind coming from the south, blowing north. Kason Hamlin in the game for the Cougars. That appears to be the only change. Ribbon break for Hamlin. And we're underway to start the second half. Ball played to the far side. Ben Schumacher comes in to steal. Schumacher looking for an option, finds Nato in the middle. Nato looking to switch the field, deflected by the Hornets. Ball falls to Clevenger as he tracks back. Plays it wide to Nelson on the near side. Nelson gets there being defended by Story. Played back to Clevenger. Sent down the line by number 17, Benavides. Brandon Schumacher wins it. Gets it back to Clevenger. Clevenger, big switch of the field over to Hamlin on the far side. Headed in the air by Fowers. Hamlin gets to it, touches to the middle. Cleared away by Marlin. Perigin wins it back, but it's called for the handball, and it will be a free kick for the Hornets. Number 11, Bryant comes in, takes the kick ahead. Dole gets a touch on it, falls to Nato. Nato tracks back as he tries to win it over Fowers. Hamlin gets a touch back to the middle for Perigin. Perigin plays it through. Zane Marlin there to steal for the Hornets. Perigin comes in and steals it back for the Cougars. Michael Perigin carrying down the near side. Chips it over for Nelson. Into the box. Nelson takes the strike with his right. It's deflected, but falls into the goal. And the Cougars score again. 6-0. Back to the action. Hornets drop it back to the midfielder. Played to the near side, but way too heavy by Hendricks, and out of bounds thrown for the Cougars. Brandon Schumacher there takes the throw to Perigin. Perigin switching the field to Hamlin on the far side. Number 11, Taylor Bryant, wins the ball into a carry into the middle of the field. Martin drops it back to the back line and sent to the top. Thomas gets a touch and Dole clears. Be a throw in for the Hornets on the far side. Throw into the middle. Meningus sweeps it away. Hamlin gets a touch on it, can't control, ball's loose. Hamlin gets back to it, plays it over to Perigin with some space in the middle. Perigin has room, plays it over the top for Nelson. Nelson claws it down as Schumacher runs on. Ben Schumacher on the ball, plays it through, cleared away by Shaw. Nelson comes back to it, tries to clip it back, stolen by Hendricks, and cleared away. Ball falls through Schumacher. Meningus is there to win it. Tim Perigin. Perigin smokes it through to the far side, deflected away, but Clevenger's there, sends it through to Hamlin. Hamlin into the box, being chased by Shaw. Hamlin gets a touch on it, but not enough on it. And the Hornets are able to control. Sent back to the middle. Martin's there. Nato comes to challenge. Nato sends it back. Thomas comes up and challenges with Adams. Ball to the far side as Bryant carries. Back in the middle for Fowers. Fowers carrying down the far side. Into the box as Meningus shields, and Stewart's able to get to it for the save. Stewart top spinning ball to the middle. First touch by Clevenger with his chest. Shaw comes up to pressure. Clevenger drops to Thomas. Thomas in the air to the far side for Hamlin. Hamlin gets a touch on it, drops it back to Clevenger, and deflected out of play by Fowers. There'll be a throw in for the Cougars. Throw into the middle of the field. Schumacher's there. Then Schumacher over the top. Nelson gets to it, one touch, and Tanner deflects and is able to bring it in. Good one touch by Nelson. Tanner's was able to secure it before it went in. Number 17, Benavides, drops it back to Marlin. Marlin Benavides on the 1-2. Nelson and Schumacher get a touch. Marlin is able to stay on it, carries to the middle. Hendricks connecting to the near side with Benavides. Meningus is able to steal the through ball, gets to Perigin. Perigin being challenged by Jarrett. Plays it up to Nelson. Marlin comes in to deflect, but it falls to Perigin. Perigin making the run, gets past Shaw, takes the shot, and Tanner's right there for the save. Tanner, good ball to the middle of the field. Dole gets the first touch, high into the air. Deflected by Adams, and he gets called for the handball. Dole takes the free kick into the middle of the field as Hamlin comes to pressure. Taylor Bryant carries to the far side, connects to Fowers, stolen by Perigin. Perigin with 4 goals on the day, carrying down to the corner. Bryant defending. Perigin across into the box, makes another touch. Shaw defending. Shaw's able to get a touch to clear. Drop back to Hamlin. Hamlin across to Clevenger, cleared away by Shaw. Benavides clears it away for the Hornets. Thomas wins it back with his chest, but stolen back by Fowers. Fowers up ahead to Adams. Sent back to Adams on the far side. He tries to keep it in, but can't, and throw in for the Cougars. .30 left to play here in the second half. Cougars leading 6-0. We will have a JV half after this conclusion. Ball out of bounds on the far side, throw for the Hornets. Deflected out of play by the Cougars, another throw. Fowers there, leaves it for Bryant. Bryant back to Shaw on the back line. Shaw sends it up ahead to Adams. Adams, good one touch to connect to Martin. And Martin sends it through, nobody there. Cougars are able to steal. Meningus getting pressured by Benavides. And Benavides is able to force him out of bounds, throw for the Hornets. Laquey can't handle it. Cougars get the throw. Ben Schumacher down the line to Nelson. Nelson chips it over the top. Tanner is at the edge of the box and is able to get over to it. Tanner, big switch to the field on the punt. Hornets are able to keep it in. Good pass up to Adams, who heads it back to Fowers, but out of play. And it'll be another throw for the Cougars. Bennett Thomas there to take the throw, gives it to Perigin. Perigin tries to sneak it through. Stolen by the Hornets. Brandon Schumacher there to win the ball. Schumacher carrying down the line. Schumacher dropped back to Meningus. Meningus chips it through with his left and can't keep it in, throwing for the Hornets. Clevenger steps in to challenge on Hendricks. Clevenger able to win the challenge. Makes a move through, stolen away by Jarrett and sent through, but nobody's there to connect. And it'll be a throw in again for the Cougars. Brandon Schumacher there to take the throw. Throw down the line to his brother. Ben gets a touch up to Clevenger. Clevenger cuts it back, looking to switch the field for Hamlin on the through ball. Tanner, good job being at the top of the box. and is able to scoop that up before there can be a real threat. Fowers on the far side drops it back to Bryant, played through back to Fowers. And knocked out of bounds on the Cougars, throwing for the Hornets. Ball back in the middle for Dennis. Sent over the top. Thomas rises up and heads it back into the middle. Fight for possession as Perigin challenges back. Perigin can't get a touch on it, and it's kicked out of bounds. Looks like it'll be Cougars throw-in. Perigin throws it in down the line for Hamlin to chase. Shaw is there. Shaw shielding as Hamlin tries to win the battle. Shaw's able to turn down the far side. Hamlin wins it back. Ball's loose. Falls to Jarrett. Jarrett on the switch. Play to the near side for Benavidez. Benavidez keeps it in, looks for the connected pass as Ben Schumacher comes in to steal. Brandon's there to win it. Makes the turn back. Schumacher on the ball, leaves it for Ben. To Clevenger. Clevenger over the top for Hamlin into the box. Hamlin chases. Bryant's there to defend. Hamlin sends it back to the top. Deflected away by the Hornets. Nato comes in on the tackle. Gets a touch on it. Perigin chips it back to Clevenger. Deflected by the Hornets. Nelson chases to the sideline. And out of bounds, that will be a throw for the Cougars. Perigin all alone in the box. Gets all the way to him. Perigin takes the shot. And good recovery by Shaw to send it out of play. And they're ruling it a goal kick. Looked like Shaw had won that, but Tanner takes the goal kick, playing it on the ground out of the back. Over to Fowers on the far side, drop back to number 11, Bryant. Thomas clears it away for the Cougars, and it'll be a throw in on the sideline for the Hornets. Ball goes out of bounds. Throw for Cougars. Bennett Thomas takes a short throw to Perigin. Perigin tries to turn, gets through. Number 6, Jarrett comes up to take the challenge. Falls to Clevenger. Clevenger carrying across. Clevenger gets a touch to space. Plays it to Nelson. Nelson chases into the box. Thinks about his options, cuts it back. Plays it back to Clevenger, stolen away by the Hornets. On the ground to Marlin. Left for Hendricks. Hendricks plays it over the top on the run for Adams. Dole's there to send it out of play, and it'll be a throw-in for the Hornets on the near side. Quickly back in as Landon Dennis is there to get a touch. Hendricks gets dislodged with the ball by Perigin. Perigin sends it over the top for Clevenger. Clevenger, good timed run. Nope, never mind. Flag is up. See if we can look at that on replay. Yeah, hard. We didn't have it in frame on the video, but sure looked like he was off when the video got to him. Ball played into the middle of the field. Nato steals. Hamlin gets a touch, deflected. Played through to Adams. Adams gets a touch to the middle. Martin connects on the shot, deflected by Nixon Meningus. Ben Schumacher comes in to win the ball. Schumacher to the near side, makes a touch ahead. Cuts it back. Defended by Hendricks. Hendricks steals. Meningus comes in, deflected off of Hendricks. Brandon Schumacher there tries to settle. And out of bounds thrown for the Hornets. Ball up ahead to Fowers into the corner. Dole defending. Dole gets a touch on it. Dole shielding. Tries to turn it. Still in play. Deflects it off of Fowers. Sent across the box. Nato's there to clear. Connected to Perigin. Perigin into the middle for Clevenger. Clevenger gets a touch to turn. Tries to send it through. Shaw is there to win it. Benavidez clears it to the near side as Schumacher's there. Brandon Schumacher on the ball. Plays it to Nato. Nato over the top for Nelson. Nelson heads it back to Perigin. Perigin tries to play it to the far side for Hamlin, goes in the air as Fowers comes back to win. Perigin chases it back and able to get possession. Hornets steal, play it down the line. Perigin deflects it out of play, and another throw in for the Hornets. .25-30 left to play in the second half. And the Hornets get called for an illegal throw. Cougars take the throw. The Perigin's there to take the throw in. Throw in to the middle, headed away by Fowers. Perigin gets back to the ball. Clipped by Fowers. Adams is there. Perigin comes back to challenge. Played down the line, stolen back by the Hornets. Martin on the ball. I'm sorry, Marlin. Falls to Brandon Schumacher, through to Perigin. Perigin tries to turn. Into the middle for Sherritt. Foul called on the Cougars, and it's a free kick for the Hornets. Gavin Shaw there to take the free kick. Backspinning ball to the near side. Controlled by Benavides. Back in the middle, Nato steals. Deflected away, Perigin's able to get it back. Shear there deflects the ball. Dole's there to save it. Dole plays it on the ground. Hendricks steps in to win it. Shear drops it back. Schumacher deflects to Hamlin. And Hamlin gets called for the handball. Free kick for the Hornets. Bryant takes the free kick, side spinning ball in. Thomas challenges. Dole clears it away. And out of play, throw in for the Hornets. Bryant there to take the throw. Ball back into play. Shear there. Plays it back to Bryant. Hendricks comes on. Pokes it through with his left. Nato's there to steal. Nato plays it into the middle. Shaw comes in. Nato clears it to the far side. Bryant gets a touchdown. Into control for Hendricks. Hendricks from deep sends it into the box, and Stewart will let it roll out of bounds. So it'll be a goal kick for the Cougars. Gavin Dole takes the free kick up ahead. Shaw sends it into the air. Ben Schumacher there tries to settle. He's able to settle, looks for space. Plays it through for Perigin. Flicked away by the Hornets. Perigin gets back to it. That was Walters. Perigin over the top. Touched by Shaw. And cleared away into a run for Martin. Martin being defended by Ben Schumacher. Thomas steps up. Martin gets through another challenge. Played through to Hendricks. Nato and Martin go down in a heap. No call. And finally the whistle and stoppage of the clock. Let's see if we can look at that on replay. Yeah, looks like Nato expected Ryder Martin to be there, and Martin had passed and lost his feet, and then Nato tripped over him and landed right on top of Martin. Nato being helped off, not putting any weight on that right leg. I don't think the ref called a foul. I think he's going to give the Hornets a drop ball. Or is it if the ball's in the box, then it's a drop ball to the Cougars. I don't know that it was in the box when he blew it dead. Let's see if we can get that again. I guess maybe it was. Okay, restart a play. Clevenger clears it away. Nelson gets to the ball. Nelson up ahead, cuts it back to Perigin. Perigin looking at an option, tries to cut through. Shaw defending. Cleared away by the Hornets over to the far side for Walters. Hamlin comes on and pressures, and foul called on Hamlin. Will be a free kick for the Hornets. Ball played on the ground to Caden Hendricks. He's got room to turn. Hendricks switching the ball to the near side for Benavides. Brandon Schumacher steals, finds Ben on the run. Stolen back by Martin. Schumacher chases, gets a touch ahead. Ben Schumacher on the ball, carried into the box. Tries to poke it through for Nelson. Shaw clears. Benavides plays it forward to Martin. Perigin challenging. Boney defending on Martin. Martin holds up play. Plays it over the top for Benavides, but off the mark, out of play. Ref deflected it back in, but it will be a throw for the Cougars. Brandon Schumacher takes the throw to Perigin. Perigin tries to back heel. He's able to poke through. Plays it to Clevenger on the run. Clevenger's on. He tracks back for the ball, gets into the box. Shaw's there to defend. Touches it with his left. Shaw trying to turn as Clevenger gets onto him. Clevenger gets the ball back. Challenge for the ball and this tackle by Shaw. Clevenger's able to stay on it. Over to Perigin with some space. Perigin tries to settle down. Takes the one time on the volley. And Tanner's there to make the save. Tanner low ball in. Bounces over the first line. Boney's there to settle. Plays it high into the air as Adams pressures. Ball in the middle of the field. Schumacher and Martin challenge for it. Schumacher's able to win the challenge. Stolen back by Shear. Shear on the run. Plays it to the far side. Thomas is there to clear. And that goes out of bounds, thrown for the Hornets. Back into the middle. Boney plays it forward for Hamlin. Shear drops back. Connects to Hendricks. Over to Walters. Thomas comes in and steals. Thomas makes one more challenge on Bryant. And Taylor Bryant's able to win it. It'll be a throw-in for the Hornets. Bryant up ahead. Martin comes back to connect, flicks it into the air. Boney bicycle kicks it back into the offensive half. Ball's loose in the middle. Clevenger comes over to win it. Clevenger being defended by Shear. Shear pokes it away. Drops back to Boney. Boney over to Brandon Schumacher, who chases to the near side. Schumacher has room in front. Plays it on the ground to Ben. Ben looking to turn. Ben all the way back to Meningus. Meningus gets a touch. Plays it into the air. Marlin comes in, gets a header to the back line. That's number 9, Story. Over to Marlin. And challenge for the ball ruled off of Benavides. It will be a throw for the Cougars. Perigin takes the throw back to Clevenger. Clevenger to Schumacher. Then Schumacher switched in the field to Hamlin. Hamlin with his chest. Cleared away by Shaw. Adams there, heads it into the air. Dole challenges. Side spinning ball. Ryder Martin there. Plays it down the line for Benavides on the run. Then Schumacher comes back to win it. Schumacher makes a move. Benavides is able to win it back. Shearer plays it back to Martin. Down the line for Benavides. Across the box. And Adam kicks Boney in the chest. No call on the play. Ben Schumacher's able to release it to Perigin. Perigin through the middle. Shaw's there. Shaw clears it to the near side. And it'll be a throw for the Cougars. 17 minutes to play here in the second half. Cougars leading 6-0. Perigin on the ball. Poked away by Marlin. Back into the middle. Clevenger challenges as Hendricks plays it ahead to Martin. Martin back to Hendricks in the center circle. Hendricks with a lot of room switching the field. Thomas steps in to steal. Bennett Thomas on the carry. Plays it over the top. One on the far side by Bryant. Headed down. Thomas sends it back into the air. Gavin Shaw there to settle it. Being challenged by Hamlin from behind. Shaw across the middle. Story on the ball. Plays it to the far side for Walters. Walters back in the middle for Hendricks to connect. And Walters chases to the sideline. Can't keep it in. Throw in for the Cougars. Back to the middle of the field. Perigin sends it over the top. Headed down by Story. Falls to Hamlin. Clevenger tracks back for it. Clevenger over to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher with room. Makes a touch. Gets through. Schumacher with his left. And too much on the ground. Tanner's there to scoop it up. Tanner rolls it out to the near side for Benavides. Gets called for the handball. I'm not sure about that. It hit him in the face and then off the arm, which is not a handball. Be a free kick for the Cougars. Perigin takes the free kick, side spinning ball into the box. Clevenger with his shoulder can't get it on frame, and it will be a goal kick for the Hornets. Marlin subs out of the game as number 13, Fowers, subs back in for the Hornets. Goal kick played to the wide side and out of play. Cougars get the throw. Hamlin into Clevenger. Hamlin makes a touch to the end line, cuts it back. Hamlin on the ball, sends it across to Perigin in the box. Perigin through the middle. Martin's able to come up and clear it away. Actually, that was number 9, Story. Over to the near side for Brandon Schumacher, down the line for Nelson. Nelson can't keep it in, loses his feet out of bounds, throw in for the Hornets. Fowers over on the near side to take the throw. Back to the middle for Shear. Shear being challenged by Perigin and plays it out to Marlin off the mark, throwing for the Cougars. Nelson takes the throw, finds Perigin. Perigin into the box, gets the first touch. Looking for an angle. Drop back to Clevenger. Clevenger gets across, takes the shot, but can't get it on frame. Goal kick, Hornets. Goal kick taken. Ben Schumacher steals in the middle. Up to Clevenger. Schumacher gets nailed in the head. Off the clear out by Shaw. Take a look back on replay here. The goal kick restart. Schumacher gets a touch ahead, and Shaw tries to clear it. Just goes right off Schumacher's head. Ben Hamlin's able to walk off under his own power. Got a little whiplash, it looked like, on the contact. All right, it'll be a drop ball on the restart. Lucas Nangle subbing in the game for the Cougars. Restart a play. Brandon Schumacher gets a touch back to the middle. Stolen by the Hornets. Ryder Martin on the ball, switching the field to the far side. Walters there. Walters plays it back into the middle for Martin. Hamlin comes in and steals. Shears there to steal back. Hamlin on the ball. Ryder Martin comes in. Martin gets through the first line. Drop back to Fowers. Nangle comes in and deflects. Nangle gets a steal over to Clevenger. Back to Nelson. Nelson carrying into space in the middle. Nelson on the run. He tries to play it through. Shaw's there to clear. Falls to Nangle. Back to Clevenger. Clevenger settles with his shoulder. Back in the middle for Perigin. Perigin bicycle kick over the top. Challenge for the ball. Nelson's there. Tries to head it forward. Still loose. And Liam Nelson scores the goal. What a goal by Liam Nelson. 3 defenders there, but nobody could track the ball. And Liam Nelson able to do enough. Somehow he's able to put his right foot on it and find the goal. .12:14 on the official clock. Score 7-0. Restart a play. Hornets switching to the far side. Perigin comes in, deflects the ball. Hamlin over to Shield. Ball goes out of bounds, throwing Cougars. Hamlin takes the quick throw. Stolen back by Bryant into the middle for Martin. Hamlin wins it down with his chest. Nangle there, pressuring on Martin. Martin plays a good through ball. Dole's there to read it. Dole into possession to Boney. Boney into center circle. Shears there. Drops it over to Fowers. Fowers to the back line for Story. Story back in the middle. Lucas Nangle there to steal. Up to Perigin. Perigin tries to sneak through on Bryant. Well defended. Back to Clevenger. Clevenger turns. Fowers is there on the ball. Drops it back to the keeper, Tanner. And Tanner sends it back to the middle of the field. Nangle settles it with his chest in the middle. Shear deflects it to the near side. And out of play will be a throw for the Cougars. Nelson back to Brandon Schumacher. Schumacher into the middle for Perigin. Perigin deflects. Shaw's there with his knees and clears it away. Shaw, a big clear all the way to the back line. Dole tries to get a touch. Meningus is there, plays it back into the middle. Ryder Martin on the ball as Dole defends. Martin gets through. Dole pushes from behind and gets called for the foul. And it will be a free kick for the Hornets. Martin, good ball, but too high. Boy, he really struck that, but way over the goal. And it's a goal kick for the Cougars. Michael Perigin back to take the goal kick for the Cougars. Perigin backspinning ball to the far side over Hamlin's head and out of play. It'll be a throw for the Hornets on the far side, back into play. Walters back to Shear, over to Bryant. Bryant sends it in the middle of the field for Martin. Martin switches it to Fowler. Fowler down the line for Benavidez. Meningus is there to win it. Meningus turns to the near side. Nelson and Fowler come to challenge. Nangle gets a foot in there. Over to Martin. Martin plays it through. And good combination, but just too far ahead of Dennis. Stewart was there to scoop it up. Stewart plays it up ahead. Clevenger through as Shaw shields. And Tanner's able to pick it up right at the edge of the box. Tanner low ball punted back into Shear in the middle of the field. Shear touches wide to Bryant. Bryant over the top for Adams to chase. Adams into the corner, can't get to it in time. And it'll be a throw in the defensive third for the Cougars. Bennett Thomas takes the throw up to Nangle. Cougars throw it again. Perigin sends it over the top. Ball bounces into the air. Story's there. Hamlin gets onto it, and Hamlin gets called for the foul. It'll be a free kick for the Cougars. For the Hornets. Hornets quick restart. Thomas comes in and gets another handball. And another free kick for the Hornets. Restart of play. Hornets in possession. That's number 17, Benavidez. Takes the shot but can't get it on frame. Goal kick, Cougars. Dole sends it to the far side. Ball sent back into the middle. Dole and Adams challenge for it. Meningus there. Plays it to the far side, plays it down the line for Thomas. Thomas lets it run so he can turn and plays it over the top, but out of play first. And it's a throw in for the Hornets. Quick throw in, Boney there, heads it down to Perigin. Deflected off of the Cougars, throw in Hornets. Back in the middle, switch to the field for the Laquey Hornets. Over to Benavidez. Down the line on the connection for Fowers. Fowers keeps it in, plays it to the end line, but didn't have anything on it, and out of bounds. Goal kick, Cougars. Under 7 to play. 7-0 the score, Cougars leading. Ball into Perigin in the middle. Perigin switch to the field to Hamlin. Hamlin wins it down. Across the middle. Hornet steal. Fowler to Benavidez. But Benavidez was looking upfield and off the mark, throw in Cougars. Nelson takes the throw into Clevenger. Clevenger to the middle for Nangle. Nangle gets a touch trying to get through. Shear's able to steal. Dennis drops back to the back line. Bryant sends it back in. Perigin gets a touch as he's able to turn. Perigin loses his feet on the tackle as Shear wins and drops it back to Fowler. Fowler to Benavidez on the near side. Played back in the middle for the connection. Rolls through. Boney there, one touch to Perigin. Perigin turns, gets Clevenger. Clevenger looking at his options, gets it back to Perigin. Perigin takes the shot and not on the frame. Goal kick, Hornets. Ruben Brake, 1 goal today. Michael Perigin with 4. And Liam Nelson has 2 for the Cougars. Jesse Tanner takes the goal kick for the Hornets. Cougars are able to steal in the middle. Shaw comes in and clears it. Challenge for the ball on the far side. Out of bounds to the Hornets. Bryant comes over for the throw, connects to Adams. Adams chips it wide for Walters. Back in the middle of the field, challenged by number 8, Dennis, and number 8, Perigin. Perigin wins it, plays it down the line, but out of bounds. Deflection by the Hornets. It will be Cougars' throw. Boney heads it up to Clevenger. Clevenger trying to sneak through. Challenged by Dennis and Shear. Ball out of bounds to the Cougars. Perigin quickly into Clevenger. Martin steals. Martin on the attack. Clevenger chasing back. Martin leaves it for Benavides on the near side. Cut back to Martin. Nelson steps in. Benavides tracks back to the ball. Drop to Fowler to Martin on the connection, but couldn't keep it on the ground, and it'll be a throw-in for the Cougars. Under 4 to play. Nelson into Nangle. Shear comes in on the challenge and gets called for the foul. Will be a free kick for the Cougars. Clevenger there to take the free kick, side spinning ball in. Shaw, first touch with his chest. Cut falls to Shear. Nangle comes in and steals, gets it to Perigin. Perigin at the top. Carrying across. Came in with the late handball call on Nangle. Be a free kick for the Hornets. Nangle gets a touch off the free kick. Cleared away by Story. Clevenger tracks back to win it off Benavides. Benavides is able to steal and play it to Shear. Over the top for Adams. Adams heads it back into the middle of the field. Shear in the center circle, wins it down. Played through for Martin. Too far ahead as Thomas sweeps it away. Hamlin gets a touch, plays it through to Perigin. Story settles it, plays it back into the middle for Dennis. Dennis stumbles over it, Perigin steals, plays it over the top for Nelson. Tanner's there. Nelson almost gets to it in time, but Tanner slides in and wins it. Ball back to the near side for Benavides. He looks to switch the field to Martin. Martin in the middle. Being defended by Boney, played over the top. Dennis is there being defended by Menendez. Back to Benavides. Benavides looking to set up a shot. Menendez defending. Menendez loses his feet. Benavides sends it across the box. Hamlin chases back to help. Walters there. Hamlin carrying in the middle. Gets a touch wide. Hamlin still on the ball. Hornets steal. Walters back to Bryant. Bryant drops back to reset to Shaw. Shaw across the field. Clevenger steals. Clevenger with space in the middle. He's carrying. Nelson making the run. Clevenger over the top. Good defense by Story as he knocks it down. Ball falls to Clevenger. Clevenger takes the shot. Far post, but off the mark. And another goal kick for the Hornets. Just over a minute to play here in the varsity action. And we have the score of 7-0. Restart a play to the far side. Taylor Bryant into Shear. Perigin keeps it in, deflects it off of Bryant. It'll be a throw for the Cougars on the far side. Under 30 seconds to play. Ball Ball falls to Hamlin. Hamlin at the top of the box cuts it across. Shaw comes in to challenge. Back in the middle, Nangle gets a touch to the sideline. Perigin wins it. Perigin to the box, cleared away to Clevenger. Clevenger into the box, and that's the final whistle. Final score, Cougars 7, Laquey Hornets 0. We'll take a 10-minute break here to reset for the JV game and then be back for that game here shortly. We are ready to get started with the 35-minute period for the JV. Kickers are on the field. They're going right to left, headed to the north. All right, that's the whistle. We're underway. Hornets play it out of the back. Send over the top to Kruschik. Boney heads it back to the middle for Nangle. Hornets play it wide but out of bounds. That was number 11, Ross Brothers. And it'll be a throw in for the Cougars. Justin Boney there to take the throw. He raises his leg, though, and gets called for the throw-in violation. Hornets will get the throw in return. Break, Reether, Jackson across the top. Hamlin, Smathers, and Nangle in the middle. And Boney, Clevenger, Crumrine, and Ramos on the back line for the Cougars to start. Connor Perry as the keeper tonight. Boney plays it across the middle, stolen by the Hornets. It's number 6, Liebage. And cleared away by Clevenger. It'll be a throw in for the Hornets. Number 13, Jericho Fowers there to take the throw. Into the box, settled by Clevenger. Clevenger switching the field. Stolen back by number 18, Mehe. Cleared away, out of bounds, thrown for the Cougars on the far side. Reether plays a good ball over the top to Hamlin. Hamlin on the run. Hamlin takes the one touch and doesn't get it on frame. Good idea if you could have directed that to the goal. The keeper was up. But it would be a goal kick for the Hornets. Played out of the back to Marlin. Marlin through the middle. Hamlin steals. Hamlin carrying across the frame. Deflected away by the Hornets. Ball falls to Smathers. Connects to Reether. Reether tries to turn. Cleared away again by the Hornets. Boney steps up. Gets it over to Brake. Brake turns. Brake carrying across. Smathers plays it to the far side for Spencer Jackson. Jackson pokes through to Reether on the run into the box. The keeper comes in. That's Doreedy. Ball still in play on the corner. Cleared away by Mehe. Over to Nangle. Nangle tries to play it into the middle. Stolen away by the Hornets. That's Evan Shear on the ball. Played down the left side. Smathers gets a touch but out of play. And throw in for the Laquey Hornets. Back into Shear. Drop back to Mehe. Across the middle of the field. Crumrine steps up to win the ball. Over to Hamlin. Cason Hamlin has time. Plays it through for Brake. Cleared away by the Hornets. Over to the near side. Number 7, Bacon gets a touch back to the middle. Brothers over to Bacon. Boney steps into steal. Gets it to Nangle. Lucas Nangle down the line. And deflected out of bounds by Fowers. That'll be a throw for the Cougars. Good throw by Nangle into Hamlin in the box. And Fowers has to play it out to the sideline. Out of bounds will be a throw for the Cougars. Hamlin takes the throw. Hornets are all the way back in a low block. Cleared away. Boney heads it back into the middle. Ryan sends it back in. Ball high in the air. Smathers knees it down. Fowers sends it back to the middle, touched by number 6, Liebage. Hunter Liebage gets it up ahead. Ryan rises up. Ryan's able to win it, plays it wide to Jackson. Stolen by Mayhay. Jackson gets back to it for the challenge. Mayhay makes the nice Maradona move to the sideline. Still shielding the ball as Jackson's pestering. Stolen away by Brake. Mayhay back to the ball, looking for space. Played into the middle. Nangle steals over to Brake. Shear finds space as Jackson again challenges May. Boney comes in on the one-touch slide and plays it to the far side. AR wanted a foul, but the center wasn't having it. It'll be a throw-in for the Cougars. Oh, he did give it. Okay. Just can't hear the whistle from here. Ramos sends it across the middle. Hamlin tracks back to the ball. Nangle touch back to Brake. Brake tries to sneak it through. Well defended by Marlin to clear it away. Nangle drops back to Ryan on the back line. Actually goes all the way through to Clevenger. Clevenger over to Boney. Boney makes a touch as the challenge comes from Bacon. Reether tracks back to win it. Reether tries to turn. The ball's deflected. Challenge in the middle of the field. Brake's able to win it back. Mayhay steps up for the Hornets. Jackson's able to win it. Jackson cuts it back into space. Jackson still fighting for possession. Shear back to the ball for the Hornets in the middle. To Brothers. Brothers switching the field. Brandon Ramos steps up. And finally out of play, it'll be a throw for the Cougars. Ramos takes the throw-in, ball sent back to him. Brothers with the ball in the middle of the field. Hamlin comes in to deflect. Ball to Bacon. Hamlin chasing. Fowers gets to the ball. Boney shielding. Ball stays in play and finally goes out. Boney takes the quick throw. Hamlin over to Brake, who's able to turn. Brake through for Hamlin. Hamlin on the run, keeper way out. Hamlin lays out the keeper. And he'll get called for the foul. Ball back into the middle of the field. Angle over to Jackson. Jackson settles it down. Drops it back all the way to Clevenger on the back line. Clevenger drives it over the top for Smathers. Deflected by Brothers. Smathers on the run. Cleared away to the near side, and that will go out as a throw. That was cleared away by Zane Marlin. Brogan Reether there to take the throw for the Cougars. Short to Nangle. Nangle tries to turn to the end line, and Reether gets called for not putting the ball over his head on the throw. Be a throw for the Hornets. Fowler takes the throw in to Marlin. Marlin carrying as Hamlin comes up to tease pressure. Gets it to Fowler. Reether comes in to steal. Marlin pokes it out of bounds, and it'll be a throw for the Cougars. Reether into break. Fowler shielding. Plays it through Nangle's there to steal. Nangle setting up the shot, plays it across to Jackson. Ball sneaks through the middle, and Sean Doriti there on the backside to scoop it up. Hornets back in possession on the defensive third. Hamlin comes in and steals, gets through. Hamlin loses his feet and draws the foul. And it will be a free kick for the Cougars. Kason Hamlin there to take the free kick. About 30 out. Hamlin puts it on frame. And Doriti's there to make the save. Crumrine wins it down with his chest in the middle of the field. Smathers is able to turn, pokes it through. Reether comes back to connect. Angle plays it wide to Hamlin. Hamlin keeps it in. Hamlin keeps playing. The Hornets stopped. Hamlin's playing pretty aggressive out there. Fowler, not happy about it, clears that ball away. Jackson settles it down, plays it through. Deflected by the Hornets. Reether chases back, plays it to Ramos on the back line. Marlin steps in and plays it out. Cougars are able to maintain possession into break. Break plays it through. And just behind, Reether couldn't connect on it. It'll be a throw in for the Hornets. 23:30 left to play in the JV match. Reether pokes it through. Break trying to connect. Break back to the ball, drops it back. Brother steals. Reether gets a little shove off and gets called for the foul. Be a free kick for the Hornets. Bowers plays it over the top. Nangle's able to settle it with his chest. Over to Smathers. Hornets steal, get it back to the middle of the field. Brothers comes in to play the ball, plays it to the far side. Jackson's there to challenge Mayhay. Jackson gets through. Jackson still on the ball, cuts it back, loses his feet. Stolen by the Hornets. Up to number 22, Shear. Shear carrying to the near side, being double teamed, makes a move to get through. Shear back into space. Crumrine comes in and clears it away. Jackson and Mayhay challenge for the ball. Jackson wins it. Is able to turn. Jackson plays it through for break on the run. Zane Marlin there gets it touched to the corner. Marlin carries down the line. Is able to keep it in play. Jackson comes back and wins it. Mayhay clears it back to the middle of the field. Lucas Nangle comes up to win possession into the attack. One touch to break, back to Nangle into the box. And Doriti's there for the Hornets to scoop it up. Smathers jumps through his throw in and gets called for the illegal throw. Throw in for the Hornets. Mayhay there to take the throw. Big throw into the middle. Crumrine heads it down. Crumrine with his chest, still fighting for possession. Pokes it through. Fowers and Hamlin challenging for the ball. Brothers gets it. Brothers drop back. Sent through by number 16, Shaw. That's the younger brother of Gavin Shaw, Camden Shaw. All the way back to Mayhay. He drops it back to the keeper, Dority. Back into the middle of the field. Krumrine's there. One touches to Nangle. Nangle settles with his chest. Carries back into space. Nangle down the line. Mayhay steals, plays it through. Clevenger's there. Clevenger looking over the top. Plays it back to Jackson. Brake steps in to win it. Mayhay steals and gets it to Shear. Shear plays it down the line with his left. Ramos comes in to challenge. Nangle's able to sweep it away, and it'll be a throw for the Hornets. Hamlin comes on the run. Drop back. Brake cuts it back to Hamlin. Hamlin looking at his options. Drops back to Brake. Stolen by Nangle. Cleared away by the Hornets to the far side. Ramos there. Ramos makes the steal and turn. Getting challenged from behind. Switch to the field. Boney's there first. Boney looking to turn. Gets the turn on Bacon. Boney through for Hamlin. He's on. Hamlin out ahead. Gets a touch. Tracking back to the middle. Hamlin slows it up as Fowers comes to defend. Fowers comes in on the tackle. Ball loose to Shear. Nangle comes in, touches it back, wins the ball up to Brake. Brake tries to sneak through. Shear's able to win it back for the Hornets. Into the turn, deflected away. Jackson comes in to challenge Mayhay. Mayhay on the far side. Drop back to Shaw, who plays it through. Stolen back by Smathers. Smathers carrying across, cuts it through. Again, cleared away. Smathers back to the ball. Smathers through ball. Again, Shaw there to clear. Hamlin chasing for the ball, is able to win it. Hamlin pokes it through with his left to Reether into the box. And Doriti is able to come out and grab it before there could be any trouble. Switch to the field to the far side. Ball back to the middle of the Shear. Sent up to the halfway line, deflected away, and Boney's there to play it. Brother steps in to steal, gets it to Bacon. Nangle steps in, can't control it, plays it out of play on the near side. It'll be a throw for the Hornets. Fowler takes the throw to Brothers. Hamlin comes in to challenge. Fowler on the ground, over to Bacon. Bacon cuts it back. Nangle's able to steal. Hamlin there, sweeps it to Brake. Brake back to Nangle. Nangle on the near side, plays it through with his left, right to Hamlin's feet. Back to Nangle. And whistle called on Hamlin for obstruction. It will be an indirect kick for the Hornets. Fowler there to take the free kick into the middle of the field. Ball's loose. Smathers clears it to the corner. Mayhay running to the corner, is able to get to it. Keeps it in, sends it across with his left, and it's over the goal. It'll be a goal kick for the Cougars.
I do. He said he'll do a lot, but he did say that from the get-go he wasn't.
16-10 left to play in the JV game. Clevenger back to take the free kick, the goal kick. Into an attack for Reether. Reether can't control the first touch, and ball falls loose. Hamlin and Fowler chasing for the ball. Fowler is able to win the battle. Hamlin comes in to challenge. And the ball, foul called on the Cougars. It'll be a free kick for the Hornets. Short restart. Hornets play it in. Nangle's there to steal. Nangle plays it through for Jackson. Shaw steps up to challenge. Break heads it forward. Jackson pokes it through. Reether comes to chase. Fowler turns it to the sideline. Sweeps it down the line. Nangle comes into pressure. And challenge on Bacon. Deflected off of Bacon last, thrown for the Cougars. Hamlin takes the throw up to Break. Break tries to smoke it through. Shaw deflects. Mayhay clears. Back to Ramos. To Crumrine. Crumrine's able to turn, plays it through. Mayhay steps up and plays it back into the middle of the field for Shear. Mayhay back to the ball on the far side. Plays it back to the middle for Shear. Loose ball as Boney steps in. Boney plays it to Break in the middle of the field. Break carrying across. Finds Nangle. Nangle has time. Over to Hamlin. Hamlin looking to turn. Fowler defending. Hamlin gets the turn. Still on the ball. Hamlin plays it through to Jackson on the run. All the way to the corner as number 3 Marlin chases. Jackson cuts it back. Plays it through with his left. And it goes out the end line. It'll be a goal kick for the Hornets. Just over 14 minutes left to play in the JV period. Ball back into play to Shaw. Into the middle, stolen by Nangle. Nangle has some space, plays it through, and stolen by the Hornets. Liebage in the game, gets it to Shear. Over to Brothers. Ross Brothers carrying to the far side as Spencer Jackson pressures. Boney steps in. Ball's loose. Over to Liebage. Clevenger's there to clear it. Gets it to Smathers, who tries to turn. Deflects it off of number 11, Brothers, and Brothers comes up limping. Looked like he rolled his ankle there on that sideline. Cougars steal the ball back. That's Reether, played it over the top for Hamlin on the run. Hamlin and Fowers chasing for the ball. Fowers goes to ground. Shaw comes up with it into a carry. Over to Shear as Reether chases back. Shear cuts it back to space. Reether still pressuring. Over to Mayhay. Mayhay all the way back to the keeper, Doriti, in the box. Slow ball. Hamlin comes into challenge. Fowler is able to win the step and has a lot of room in front. Fowler still carrying. Plays it through to Bacon. Bacon to the corner, cuts it across, and Connor Perry, the keeper, has to dive on it, can't get his hands on it for some reason, and it'll be a corner kick for the Hornets. Ball sent across. Jackson's there on the backside, plays it back into the box. Dangerous play by Jackson. He's able to clear it away. Up to Reether. Reether's turns. Leaves it out front for Hamlin to chase. Number 3, Marlin's there first. Plays it down the line for Fowler. Fowler touches it back into the middle, but Reether's there to steal. Up to Smathers. Break sends it back to Reether. Reether carrying to the near side, being defended by Brothers. Reether back to Boney on the back line. Boney tries to play it on the ground. Bacon deflects. Boney's able to win it back. Again on the ground up to Stewart. I didn't know Stewart got in the game. Not sure when he subbed in. Oh, no, that was Smathers. Okay. That was Smathers. The foul called on, looked like a handball maybe on the Hornets. Free kick for the Cougars. Clevenger sends it up to the middle for Reether. He can't control it. Cleared away by the Hornets. Switch to the field. Over to the near side. Boney heads it into the air. Brothers comes over to win the ball as Bacon connects. Hamlin there to challenge. Hamlin wins the challenge down the line. Fowler's there. Hamlin gets away with a push in the back. Fowler challenging. Nangle there sends it right into Hamlin's arm. Stolen by the Hornets. Hamlin again challenges for the ball. And it's a throw in for the Hornets. Shear over the top, out of bounds on the sideline, and it's a throw in for the Cougars. 10 minutes to play here in the JV game. Ball up ahead to number 4, Krushkik. Cleared away by the Cougars. Break there. Gets it to Smathers. A little far, and Mayhay steals. Down the line, sent back into the middle. Breaks there to steal. Played over the top for Jackson. Jackson chasing to the sideline. He's able to keep it in. Jackson connects back to Reether. Reether down the line to Jackson on the run. Jackson gets a touch into the box. Sends it across, deflected away. And handball called on the Hornets. They're going to discuss whether that was in the box or not. I thought it was in the box. I thought Jackson was in the box, but he must not have been. If the touch wasn't in the box, it's going to be a free kick just outside the box for the Cougars. Jackson sweeps it across. Fowler's there. Brake tries to settle and score, but sends it way over the goal. And it will be a goal kick for the Hornets. 9 minutes to play. Still no score here in the JV game. Well played down the sideline. Bacon gets a touch on it but can't control. Boney takes the throw, gets it to Hamlin. Hamlin drop back to Nangle, who gives it back to Hamlin on the run. Fowler's there to defend. Hamlin comes in to challenge. Reether comes in to steal, and Hamlin gets called for the push from behind. Free kick for the Hornets. Fowler's spinning ball into the middle. Shear can't control it. Touched wide by Jackson. Nangle pops it into the air. Break heads it into space for Jackson. Jackson through to Reether. Number 16, Camden Shaw, there on the far side, gets to Mayhay. Connor Mayhay on the ball, being defended by Reether. Back to Shaw. Ball cleared away by Brant Smathers and into the box for the keeper. Sean Drady punts it away. Stolen by the Hornets. Nangle fighting for possession, and Nangle pushes off, gets called for the foul. It'll be a free kick for the Hornets. Ball played short into the middle. Brake challenges for it. Ribbon Brake able to win the ball. Carrying down the far side, looking at his options. Brake sends it all the way into the box. And the keeper's right there to scoop it up. Fowler gets the quick rollout, drops it back to the keeper, Doherty. Switch to the field to Mayhay. Ramos steals, leaves it for Nangle. Nangle looking at his options, makes it turn back, plays it through to Hamlin. Fowler there to chase. Doherty comes out of the box to clear it. Up to Bacon. Boney's there, sends it back in. Bounces over the first line. Doherty's challenging for it and is able to scoop it up before Hamlin can get there. Doherty right at the corner of the box, punts it back to the middle of the field. Nangle touches down. Space for Brake. Brake takes the strike, and Doherty's there to scoop it up. 6:30 to play. Punted back to the middle of the field. Ball bounces over the first line. Crumrine there gets a touch, can't control it as number 4, Krushkik, gets to the ball. Over to Bacon, who switches the field. That's all the way over to number 8, I believe. That's Changkan. Throw in for the Hornets. Mayhay plays it into the corner. Boney comes in on the tackle. Changkan sends it across the box. Shot on goal by number 22, Shear, and saved by the keeper, Perry. Connor Perry punts it away. Fight for the ball in the middle of the field. Hamlin gets to it. Hamlin working through. Fowler steals. Hamlin gets back to it. Hamlin and Fowler have a nice battle over here on the near side. Boney throws it down the line for Reether. Reether out ahead. Good chase by Marlin to get back to it. Marlin is able to turn, plays it down the line, stays in. Case and Hamlin there to win it. Switches the field to Smathers. Smathers, good touchdown. Mahay comes in to clear. Ramos is there to settle, gets challenged for the ball. Ramos is able to stay with it. Plays it up to Smathers. Smathers through to Jackson on the run. Jackson one touch across, and Doriti good position to make the save. Quick rollout to the middle for Shear. Smathers comes up and deflects. Ball comes to Bacon. He tries to one touch over to Krushkik. Shear dribbling the rollover on Nangle. Nangle staying in front. Nangle steps in and steals. Nangle carrying down the line as Fowler comes in and makes the tackle. And it will be a throw in for the Cougars on the sideline. 4 minutes to play. Boney steps in, gets it to Hamlin. Hamlin has time. Hamlin looking to switch the field. Deflected off Mahay. And handball called. In a dangerous spot for a free kick for the Cougars. Hamlin takes the quick restart. Doriti gets a touch on it and is able to keep it out of the goal. Side spinning ball back to the center circle. Reether's able to win it. Reether over to Smathers. Smathers back to Reethers on the run. Reether deflects it into the box. Fowler comes in, is able to win the ball. Carries to the near side. Fowler cuts it back as Reether challenges. Down the line. Off the mark for Bacon, and Boney lets it go out of bounds for the throw-in. Boney with the throw-in to Hamlin. Clipped away by Marlin and another throw. Hamlin, good throw to Reether. Shaw knees it into the air. Brothers down the line. And again, a throw in for the Cougars. Hamlin takes the throw into the middle, headed by number 6, Liebage. And out of bounds, it will be another throw for the Cougars, 2:30 to play. Hamlin takes the throw in. Nangle tries to settle it, but got his arm extended and got called for the handball. Free kick up ahead. Clevenger steps in. Clevenger carrying. Looking at an option. Looking to switch the field to Jackson. Jackson, good job creating space over there on the far side. Pops it over the top. Keeper comes out and gets it right at the edge of the box. Punted away to the middle of the field. Boney's there, heads it into the middle. Ramos settles it down, pokes it through, stolen by the Hornets. Nangle's there, clears it to the far side as Jackson tracks over, tries to get a header through to Smathers. Smathers able to get to the ball. Mayhay's there to steal for the Hornets, plays it down the line for Chenkin. Ball still in play, and finally out, throwing for the Hornets. Ball back in. Smathers clears it. Sent back in by the Hornets into the attacking third, but off the mark, and it'll be a throw for the Cougars. The Laquey Hornets have their first home game under the lights tonight. They just had the utility trucks leaving as we pulled in tonight. So they're brand new lights. This is the first game. This JV game is the first one under the lights. There looks like they'll need to make a few adjustments to the lighting to make sure the goals are a little bit better lit. But nice complex out here. Ten seconds left to play. Crumrine drops to Clevenger. Clevenger sends it back into the middle for Hamlin. Hamlin and Fowler, a good way to end the game. They had a good battle the whole JV half. All right, that concludes the JV game. No score. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll go to audio silence here as we go through the handshake, and then we'll catch you back here. We'll be right here tomorrow playing the Maranatha Baptist squad. They're the Maranatha Baptist Warriors back here at 10 a.m. to take on the Warriors. It will be a varsity only game tomorrow at 10.